Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Starfield and I'm going to be showing you the top 6 best shotguns in the game. And now, mind you, this is not a list of 6 legendary unique shotguns, blah blah blah, that you can find over here. I'm just saying across the board, as you're going through, these ones are going to be the better ones to keep your hands on. So if you find a good one, that is, say, maybe a legendary one in one of these varieties, and you're considering swapping it out for a different one, just consider that across the board, these ones are typically going to be the best in this order. That being said, there are exceptions, so maybe you found a common one that ranks very high on this list, and you find a legendary one that ranks very low on this list, and it has more damage, or it has a perk to it that gives it more damage but maybe less range, or more range but a lower fire rate, or whatever the case is. That all being said, as a general rule, this ranking applies. Now, there are various things that I consider in this ranking. Obviously, damage is a huge part of it, but range, accuracy, ammo capacity, fire rate, the weight of the weapon, and also the amount of mods that you can add to the weapon, because that changes how useful it can be, you know, applicably in combat, because you can adapt it differently. There are a lot of factors, but basically I've ranked them from 6 to 1, 6 being the worst, 1 being the best. So let's just start through and I'll show them to you. So starting us off at number 6, we have the Shotty, and now mind you, there are certain unique variants of this one that I would rank among the best weapons in the game. Just on the whole, even when you find legendary ones, I find it to be the worst of the available shotgun options. So the Shotty has up to 8 mods that you can put on it, so it's highly modifiable, just as a stock, and I've tried to make all these weapons as stock as possible, outside of the fact that they are all legendaries, just because, you know, I've been farming for a while here. As a stock one, you're going to find yourself with a magazine around 12 rounds, a range of 35, so not terrible for a shotgun, but still relatively low. Accuracy of 40, which is rather low. Obviously, a better stock and a longer barrel makes that higher, but just as the stock weapon itself, you start down at 40. Fire rate of 66, so pretty good for a shotgun, and a physical damage of 273. And like most of the weapons on this list, we're going to be using the caseless shell for ammo. So honestly, like I said, not a bad shotgun. It is highly modifiable. It's a very small one, and because of that, the weight is relatively low. You can see the one I have here is titanium build. If you can, I always recommend trying to find ones that are titanium, just because of how limited the amount of weight you can actually carry in this game is. So that keeps us very, very light. That being said, even with a non-titanium one, it's rather light because of the size. So I really like this one. I like the Shotty a lot, just because shotguns in this game are actually very good weapons. But out of the 6 that I've isolated for this list, this one is the worst. So even if you find a really good one, just keep your eyes out, because there are better types of shotguns out there that you're going to be able to use. That being said, I still like it a lot, and it takes the number 6 spot. Coming in at number 5, we've got one that has probably a little bit more contemporary of a design, and that one is the Pacifier. So whereas the last one was a semi-automatic, or if you modify it, fully automatic one, this one is a pump action shotgun, so you cannot make it fully automatic. So therefore, it's automatically going to be less modifiable, because you can't turn it into a auto shotgun. And because of that, we also have a slower fire rate, with this one having 25. That being said, we get significantly higher physical damage, we also get higher range, and higher accuracy than the Shotty, which are all very important. You know, it being a shotgun, you want that damage to be as high as possible, and even though you know that you're going to have lower accuracy and range, it doesn't hurt to try emphasizing those. So for a lot of reasons, I find the Pacifier to be a better shotgun overall than the Shotty. It is still relatively modifiable. Like I said, you can do 6 mods on this one. It's not ridiculously heavy either. You can see we don't have a titanium build one here, and so our mass is only at 2.75, which is not terrible for a weapon that deals as much damage as this one can. The ammo for this one is the 15x25 CLL shell ammo type, so it's not the caseless shells, so slightly less common, but still relatively findable in my opinion. I like the Pacifier. I've used a couple different variants of it quite a bit in several of my playthroughs. I have a space pirate / bounty hunter one that I like using shotguns in, and I have a pretty sweet modified Pacifier shotgun that I use almost all of the time in that one. So very good weapon overall, just not as good as the ones we're going to be looking at later, and this one takes the number 5 spot. At number 4, we've got one of the ones that you'll probably find very early in the game because it's super common, the Coachman. So the Coachman is just a standard double barrel shotgun. Well, I say standard, it's obviously very futuristic, and so therefore quite a bit larger, more bulky than a real life one, but that being said, it's still just a side-by-side double barrel shotgun. I find that to be one of the most iconic shotgun designs in video games, so I always have a soft spot for the double barrels. And also in my very first playthrough, I found a, not legendary, but a rare, or epic, the purple quality, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head now, variant of one that was explosive, and it was really awesome, and I used it a lot in that playthrough because I just got so used to using it. The only downside being that your magazine capacity on a double barrel is 2. If you manage to find one that has, I don't know what it's called in this game, but I think it might exist. I know it existed in Fallout, the like bottomless mag or whatever, so you never have to reload. That makes it great because double barrel shotguns have a very high fire rate because you can immediately fire those follow-up shots very quickly. You don't have to cycle in action or wait for the semi-auto to cycle your round. So when you find the right setup, the double barrel can have a ridiculously high fire rate. That being said, this one here, we've got 47, range of 34, so not crazy, but not as low as some of the shotguns. Accuracy of 41.6%, so again, shotgun accuracy, but not terrible. Physical damage on this one of 391, so pretty high there. Overall weight of just 3, so not terrible, not as light as some on this list, but not nearly as heavy as it could be. I genuinely like the Coachman. Like I said, it'll depend on the variant that you find, you know, what perks does that specific one have, but I quite enjoy it and I use it a lot, and honestly, just overall damage, accuracy, and range is going to have this one landing at the number 4 spot pretty consistently. So that's number 4. Let's move on to number 3. At number 3, we've got another one that just has a real soft spot for me, the Old Earth shotgun. So in this game, on the whole, I love the Old Earth weapons, and now maybe that's just because they look a lot more real to me, and I'm kind of playing a type of character that maybe is more conservative in the way that they like to use things. The only one I've currently got going is my scoundrel that is not using like old style ballistic weapons. That one is specifically using laser pistols. But I love the way this one looks. It's just a classic pump with the pistol grip. It looks so freaking iconic. It even has the wood pump on it, and I just love that. That being said, like all of the Old Earth weapons, we're going to have less modding availability, so this one only has 5 mods, so it's one of the least customizable weapons out of the shotgun class. We're using the 12 gauge shells for this one, so not as common as caseless, but still relatively common. You can see we've got 455 for the physical damage on this. Like I said, it does really good damage, which is one of the reasons I absolutely love it. Holds 6 rounds, and it's a pump action, so it doesn't have a ridiculously fast fire rate, but pretty steady, and you can keep a lot of rounds down range pretty fast. Mass on this one is 3.6, so we're a little bit heavier than the Coachman. Range is 34, accuracy is 59.5, so it's one of the more accurate shotguns in the game. I really like it. I love the Old Earth weapons on the whole, and the Old Earth shotgun is one of my all-time favorite weapons in the game, definitely ranking very high as far as shotguns are concerned. So yeah, that one is the one that I've placed at number 3. I like it a lot, but let's move on to number 2. Coming in at our runner-up spot at the number 2, we have one that I feel like a lot of people probably saw coming, the Breach. And now the Breach is just honestly a super good weapon on the whole. Some of the unique varieties of this one, like the, I believe it's called the Experiment A7, you get that one during the main storyline. It's a rare one. Some of the unique varieties of the Breach are just on the whole the best weapons in the game, and it's not hard to tell why. So as far as stats on this one go, you can see damage is ridiculously high. We've got a physical damage on this one of 520, so just ridiculously powerful. This one uses the 15x25 shell. We have a magazine capacity on it of 8, a fire rate of 12, so significantly higher than the Old Earth shotgun, and pretty good for a semi-automatic weapon. Range of 34, so nothing crazy there, but not ridiculously short. Accuracy of 58.2%, so almost 60% accuracy on this, so that's actually pretty dang good for a shotgun, especially considering we're totally unmodded here. It's just totally stock, you know, for a legendary shotgun. Massive 7.3, so it is rather heavy. We can modify this one a lot. It can take up to 8 mods, so you can modify the sight, the internals, the receiver, I don't know if I said stock already, but the stock. You can add a recon laser sight or anything like that. You can make this significantly better than it already is, but the Breach is just a really good weapon on the whole. So I love this one. It's very futuristic, so it doesn't fit in with some of my playstyles, but I've definitely utilized it quite a bit when I, you know, find a unique version that is just really good. I like to use it a lot. So the Breach is a stupid good weapon. It's one of the best weapons in the game, and it takes the number 2 spot for shotguns overall. So that's number 2. Let's move on to the best shotgun in the game at number 1. Finally, coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the Big Bang, which really shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that plays the game. This weapon is really good. So like all combination particle beam weapons in the game, this one does a combination of physical and energy damage. And so therefore, it's not only super effective against all enemy types because it does physical and energy, and if you know much about the game, you'll know that there are certain ones that are very susceptible to physical but not energy, and some are the other way around. This one does both, so it's effective against all enemy types, and it just overall has ridiculously high damage. So you can see on this one, we've got a physical of 189 and energy of 556. When I was recording the data for all of the different weapons in the game, I marked it down as a total damage of 711, but you can see that if we add those up, what I'm displaying right now, we're at 745. So maybe I leveled something up since then, or I'm just dealing more damage for whatever reason. Maybe maybe the armor I'm wearing gave me a boost. Whatever the case is, it does a lot of damage. And again, this is just stock. You can put up to 7 mods on this one. I currently don't have any on here. The fire rate is nice and high on this one at 14, range of 27, so it is a little bit lower than a lot of the other shotguns. Part of that being because just energy weapons on the whole in Starfield usually have a lower range. But still not ridiculously bad, and still an accuracy of almost 60%. So very good for accuracy, very good for fire rate, decent magazine size, extremely good for damage, being by far the highest out of all of the options that you can get. If you find yourself a nice variant of the Big Bang, whether it's a legendary unique variant or just a random legendary or rare one, definitely keep your hands on it, because it is a stupid good weapon, and as far as shotguns go, you can't get any better than the Big Bang. So that is all of the top 6 best shotguns in Starfield, and that's where we're going to be ending today's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this is the type of content that you've subscribed to the channel for. Hint hint, if you haven't already subscribed. If I missed any shotguns that you consider to be ridiculously good, why don't you let me know down in the comment section. If you've got a particular unique variant of any of the ones that I did show, you can also let me know about those. I always am interested in collecting unique weapons in this game, especially if they're more rare. But with all that being said, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.